Hello and welcome to Me, the Wife and Wrexham AFC.
A weekly podcast and YouTube channel where we discuss all things Wrexham.
So sit back, put your feet up, relax and let's get stuck in. Hello and welcome to episode 161 of Me, the Wife and Wrexham AFC. We're back from Southampton. Very long trip that was, wasn't it? But you recovered?
Nope.
Oh, no, I didn't think so. It was a 5-hour drive there. It wasn't too bad coming back. It was about 4 hours, wasn't it? I think we got diverted around a few places on the way and not so much on the way back. We came back, we got back at about 8:30 last night, something like that. And we had some food, and then Siân promptly fell asleep, didn't you? Straight away. So I had
Not ashamed about it.
No, I had the TV to myself all night. It was brilliant. I ended up going to bed about 2 in the morning.
Why'd you say that, though? Because we literally watch the same things.
I know.
We like watching the same things.
I know, yeah. Yeah, that is true. But I feel like I've got a complete choice when you're not there. Whereas we do have to have a bit of a back and forth. Do you want to watch this? Not really in the mood for that. There's none of that, is there, when you're asleep? So
nope.
It feels like couples therapy, this does a little bit. But yeah, there we go. And we're talking to, a few hundred people about it. Yeah, I mean, look, it is.
We always say we're, very honest on this podcast.
Yeah, that's true.
I say we're not completely honest about everything because
we're always
have some private life.
No, we're always honest. We just don't divulge everything. That's what you're trying to say.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Anyway.
Look, coming up on this week's show, we're obviously going to talk about our trip down to Southampton. A little bit of transfer news, what's going on. I'll sort of give you an idea of how long the transfer window is open for, all that sort of thing. We'll look ahead to 2 games this week. And also we've got the quiz. So we'll start with transfers.
Before we do start, I would like to say we had a message the other day. It might have been yesterday. Can't remember. Anyway, basically somebody said about a shirt Ryan was wearing.
Oh, yeah.
And he basically said, because we did when we went on Saturday to the game in Southampton, we obviously took a selfie at the ground and did our lives and all that kind of thing. And somebody commented on the post. His name was Stevie D. And he said, it's nice to see Ryan in the right shirt this time. That's not verbatim. And we were like, what? Yeah, what are you on about?
Yeah, I was so confused when you read that to me.
And then he said Ryan had a blue shirt. Oh no, that was
Man
it.
City.
He said, I saw Ryan in a Man City shirt. And we were like, what? Yeah. I said, I don't know who you saw, but we do not own Man City shirts.
Weirdly, so much to our shame, our son is a Man City fan.
I'm not ashamed that he supports Man City.
I am. But so it was sort of like, so it was quite a weird thing because it was like, well, our son has got Man City shirts, but they don't fit me. He's young, so he doesn't fit me. And I was like, that's a weird kit to have said. And I was like, I don't own a Man City shirt, so what has he seen? And he said he saw us picking up the tickets for the Southampton game.
Yeah,
he was going to the Q&A,
yes,
which was on the Thursday, and we were like, who has he seen? Because it's about the time we went to go to get the tickets, but it was like, but it's not me because I don't own a Man City. And then I clicked. Siân clicked as to what it was. I do own a shirt. So we go on holiday to Ibiza every year, and I have an Ibiza football shirt, which does actually, from a distance, it's pretty much the same blue as a Man City shirt.
It is.
It's a Puma kit as well. So I think you could be excused for thinking it's a Man City shirt, but I was wearing an Ibiza shirt, which is sort of my it's my sort of round the house shirt. Yeah, and it was just like, right, I picked Sian up from work and we went, so that's what I was wearing. Just in case anybody else, maybe I won't wear that out and about anymore.
Not in Wrexham anyway.
Just in case someone goes, that's that guy from that Wrexham podcast. He's got a Man City shirt on. So no, it wasn't a Man City shirt. I do apologise. My voice has gone a little bit. It's a little bit sort of ropey this week.
No one cares, Ryan.
I do a lot of talking, so it's, it does matter.
Well, maybe
it's your week.
Yeah. So let's talk about. So the transfer window closes on Monday, the 1st of September at 7 p.m.
Yeah, a little bit different this year. So it would normally close on the last day of August. The last day of August falls on a Sunday. They never close the window on a weekend because obviously a lot of clubs are either playing games or they might be away, or Sunday might be a lot of the office staff's day off or whatever it might be. They never do it on a Sunday. They always do it the following day, which is what they're doing this year. It's normally closes at midnight as well, but this year
7 o'clock is a bit of a weird time.
Yeah, they've changed it to 7 p.m. for whatever reason. I don't know. Maybe it's more in keeping with normal working hours for people. Maybe that's what it is, and instead of it being midnight, I'm not sure. And we'll get to hear about anything before we actually go to bed, I suppose, which is
maybe
another
that's
thing.
why, because people are like, oh God, we don't
staying awake just to watch, listen, whatever it might be, maybe so. Well, look, we made one signing this week. It sort of feels like a bit of a moot point talking about it because we're going to talk about him when we talk about the Southampton game. We also sort of mentioned it a little bit last week that it was a done and dusted deal, didn't we? Mm-hmm. So we signed Kieffer Moore, £2 million from Sheffield United. Great signing. We'll talk about him, obviously, about how he performed, but a brilliant signing for us.
Yeah, obviously, like you said, we are going to talk about it when we talk about Southampton. I wasn't fussed, if I'm honest.
Yeah.
But obviously, my opinion has changed.
Yeah.
And we will obviously talk about that when we talk about the Southampton game.
Yeah, very good. We all know that Parky in the past has liked a big tall man up front, and play the balls into him, get him to hold it up. We had Ollie Palmer for a few years. That's pretty much what he did. He was the hold up guy. Kieffer Moore is, Ollie Palmer 2.0, 3.0, whatever. He's a player who's played at a much higher level, played in the Premier League, lots of international caps for Wales. I seem to remember, back when Ryan and Rob sort of first-ish took over, they did talk about they wanted Welsh international players at the club. So I don't think it's a huge shock that we've now got Danny Ward and that we now have Kieffer Moore in at the club. Big 6'5" player, 32 years old, not too old. A great signing for me. I think it's great. Just a quick one on the Nathan Broadhead situation. So he's an Ipswich player. We talked about him before. We apparently agreed a deal for $7.5 million. Ipswich accepted our offer. Personal terms, I think we're pretty much agreed. The manager seemed reluctant to rubber stamp the deal. Played him in a friendly. Ipswich played Birmingham the other night and drew 1-1. And he actually came off the bench and played for a little bit in that game as well. He very much seems in Kieran McKenna's plans. He told reporters, Kieran McKenna, so this is the statement that he made about Nathan Broadhead. He said he's expressed his desire to look at another opportunity that's been presented to him, which is obviously us. But at this moment, with the position the club is in, it's not the right time or even a possible time for us to allow a good player to leave the building.
Is he in contract?
He is, hence why. So whenever there's a transfer fee associated with a deal, there is a contract still in place. So Yeah, look, he wants, by the sounds of everything that's sort of come out, he wants to come to us. He doesn't play week in, week out for Ipswich. He wants regular first team football. He's obviously had a conversation with Parky. Parky would never promise him regular first team football, but the indication is he would be playing on a very regular basis if he came to us. And he obviously really likes the idea of that. He likes the club. He likes everything about it. But because of, I think Ipswich are trying to bring a striker in. And there's some negotiations regarding that at the moment. They also have a striker who is currently injured. They've had another one who's left. They're left with very few fit strikers at the club. So Kieran McKenna's sort of going, well, if the club want to buy me one or two more strikers, perhaps I would be happy to let Nathan Broadhead go. But in the current situation, I'm not happy for him to leave because I feel that would leave me short. So the weird thing was his dad posted something, didn't he, on social media this week, where he had a picture of him in 2013 when he was at like Everton, a picture of him in 2023 when 24 at Ipswich, and then he had another picture which said now, and it had him as a kid in a Wrexham kit, and everyone was like, oh, okay, so his dad's posted that deal's done then. But obviously not since that, all of this has come out. So I think
I wonder if that's been deleted.
That's a good point. I don't know if it was deleted. It's the trouble with social media. It does. If you post something that really you shouldn't, there's always someone out there who's quick enough to screenshot it. And regardless if you delete it, it's there out in the world, isn't it? So it's probably pointless in deleting it, to be honest, because it's gone round everywhere. But yeah, that I think that gives you an indication that a deal was pretty much done. And then, it's just the Ipswich manager's sort of gone, I'm not signing off on this yet because it's going to leave me short. So like we said last week, we sort of felt like it was dead in the water. Although I do think that if Ipswich bring one or two strikers in, then maybe Kieran McKenna might be a little bit more open to letting Nathan Broadhead go. So I wouldn't say it's completely dead in the water.
Got a little bit of time left in the summer transfer window, haven't we, to kind of for it to, I mean, if not now, maybe in January, or maybe it's another one that's like almost over the line, but just didn't quite get over the line.
Yeah, maybe. We'll just have to wait and see. I do feel that if Ipswich are signing one or two, more strikers, then I do feel like this is a deal that could still happen. When last week I sort of felt like no, it's not happening and it's completely dead. But so we'll just have to wait and see on that one. But like Sean said, the 1st of September, the end of the transfer window. So we'll just have to wait and see.
3 weeks away, something like that.
Yeah, give or take. I don't, me and dates. I don't know what date it is now. So yeah, let's just go with that. Yeah, whatever. Yeah. Look, Southampton. Let's have a chat about that. I think before we get into that, we did just mention we picked up the tickets on Thursday. There is a point that I do want to make, and we circle back around to communication from the club again, which not just me. Not just, us, sorry, but a lot of Wrexham fans feel the communication coming out of the club at times.
Still archaic, isn't it?
It's so poor. It's so poor. Do you know what I mean? So I went to pick Sian up from work. We went straight from Sian's work to the ground. There had been some communication regarding only the person who had purchased the tickets can pick them up. They just need to show their email that has the booking reference on. And that's what I had. Now, I will apologise straight off the bat. If I have missed something somewhere, then please let me know. But I couldn't find the thing that I'm going to complain about.
Well, we read the email, didn't we? And it was nowhere on the email, ticket confirmation email.
No, that it said. So basically, we got there and we couldn't have the tickets because I didn't have any ID on me. So I needed photographic ID, so a passport or a driving license or something like that. So I was like, I don't remember this being communicated. They've got a sign outside the ticket office, but it's obviously too late by the time you get to the ticket office. And, you know, I didn't have my wallet on me. I didn't have anything because I'd been home. I'd had a shower after work, and then I just nipped out to pick Siân up, and we were picking the tickets up, you know, after that. And we read the email start to finish that we got, and it literally said, you know, just the person who's ordered them, that they've got the email in their inbox, and they need to show that.
I'm not even sure it says that.
It does say that they, you know, show their booking. No, it doesn't. It just says
It says
the booking reference.
Yeah.
So we didn't know. So we then had to go back home, pick up my ID, and then go back again to pick it up. And you know, some people may say, well, how do they know that you're the one that's ordered the tickets if you don't have ID? Yeah, I suppose that is a bit of a fair point. How do they know? But I had the email and it was in my inbox, and I've got the inbox on my phone, so it's obviously been sent to me. So I just...
You could have shown your season ticket thing as well.
Yeah, and I get the point that they're sort of going, come on, you know, you've got to show that it is you, and, you know, the logical thing to think is ID. But why put a sign up outside the ticket office saying you need ID, but don't communicate you need ID to people on social media or on the actual confirmation email that you are sending to people who've just purchased the tickets? If you're going to put the sign up outside the ticket office, you obviously feel that is a relevant bit of information you need to communicate, but to only put it there just seems daft to me. And it annoyed me on the day. Yeah. It really did.
Because a guy I work with, his son, who lives in Warrington, bought the tickets.
Yes.
For him, you know, himself and his grandson. And because his son lives in Warrington, he went to the club shop to pick up the tickets. He had the reference number and everything, and they, you know, the woman behind, or man, or whoever it was behind the ticket office said, have you got any ID? And he was like, no. He said, are you the one who ordered the tickets? And he was like, no, it was my son, but he lives in, you know, in Warrington, so I'm picking the tickets up. And she was like, no, you can't. And it was like, well, when's that ever been? So they had to have, because
that has been communicated though. That has been communicated, that the person who orders them has to be the one that picks them up.
Fine, yeah. But then because he explained the situation, he's like, my son lives in Warrington. Obviously, we're going to Southampton from Warrington.
Yeah.
So, and she was like, right, okay, well, we'll get the tickets. So he had his tickets sent to Southampton.
Right. Okay.
So he had to pick his ticket. So it was like that is quite a fearful moment, isn't it? That you that
they've actually done what they've said that they were going to do.
And he was like, you know, is this definitely going to happen? We're not going to travel 5.5 hours or whatever it is to Southampton. We get there and then, you know, go to there on the day of the match, and they say, sorry, no, you haven't got your tickets.
Yeah, I know. I didn't even know that was, because they've obviously, for each order, they will send the tickets out. But it's £9 to send the tickets.
I suppose that's because it's like maybe recorded delivery or something, maybe. I don't know.
I have no idea, but that seems a bit over the top as well to me, £9. Especially if you're ordering one single ticket.
Yeah.
That's a big chunk on top, isn't it, for a ticket? Anyway, you know, but it is what it is, and it just quite annoyed me on the day, and I just felt...
There was a guy in front of you that was a bit annoyed as
well.
He
was, 100%. And I just felt like, again, it fell under the whole communication thing, but I'm not going to dwell on this for too long. But look, we got down there, like we said, we got sort of diverted. It took us 5 hours. We stayed in a hotel that was quite obviously a popular hotel for people who were going on holiday, and was staying in the hotel with huge suitcases because it was quite close to the airport, wasn't it?
And obviously the docks as
And
well.
the docks for
where
the
there's cruise
cruises and all that.
ships,
But it was a lovely hotel. It was really nice. We were up on the 8th floor, so we had a great view. Lots of Wrexham spotting we did, didn't we? Wrexham fan spotting.
Yeah.
We were out and about. We went to get some food. You'd see someone in a Wrexham top. I just constantly, my neck was hurting. So just nodding at people. Going, hello. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Nodding. Yeah. You okay? Yeah. Great weather. I had my shorts on at the ground. It was boiling in there though, wasn't it?
So hot.
Yeah.
I had jeans on.
Yeah. For God knows why you had jeans on, but yeah.
I've told you, I do not wear shorts in this country.
No, you're wearing shorts now though.
Yeah, but you can't see my full legs.
You do know this. Okay, I was going to say you do know this goes out on YouTube, and I can clearly see your legs.
Yeah, but not fully.
Not fully. No, not full leg.
Not full leg.
Okay, all right. Look, nice ground, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was massive.
It was massive. We had a little chat with Steve, who used to do Dragon Chat, and he said we need to try and get out of this mentality of. It sort of feels like you're at a cup game.
Yeah.
Like you're playing them in the FA Cup. It's not a league game, like almost as if you, for some reason, don't deserve to be at these big grounds, because it just feels like a cup game. So
if you speak to opposing fans, we don't.
No. So I need to try and switch. I think people need to try and switch up that mentality.
I think it's going to take a few away games to kind of get over that.
To go, this is where we are now.
Yeah,
definitely. I'd say a nice ground, but it was £7.30 for a pint. Which, I think your brother said that's a beach tax.
Yeah, he said it's down south, so it's a beach tax.
A beach tax. Anywhere by a beach is ridiculous. So, but yeah, I'm pretty sure Wembley was cheaper than that. So it was, it was quite a bit.
He hasn't shut up about it.
What, the
he was like, he took a picture of the price list, sent it on a group chat on WhatsApp to some people, my brother included.
Yeah.
He was pretty livid about it, to be honest.
I wasn't livid.
Still bought 2 pints though.
Yeah, I wasn't livid.
Bought 2 pints though.
I did. I was always going to buy 2.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, this is expensive. But anyway, look, starting lineup. We had Matty James as captain. That was an interesting. What did you make of that?
Well, you always say, don't you, how you think Parky absolutely adores Matty James.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not a surprise there, and also, it's not a surprise. James McLean was on the bench. Obviously, Matty James didn't go off at all, did he?
No, I don't think so.
There was no, when McLean came on, there was no swapping of armbands or anything like that. I don't know, really. I don't think sorry.
Is any words coming out here?
Yeah, I don't really have an opinion. I don't think he's the shy, kind of mute person. So I don't think it's it's a terrible idea, him being captain. But I do wonder, because I said to you, didn't I? I was like, I said I wonder whether this is now, because obviously McLean was the captain all last season, and I wonder whether Matty James is now being given that that.
Well, no.
Honour.
Again, no official word that this is our captain for next season.
No,
I was musing over Connor Cody being given the captaincy.
Yeah. Kieffer Moore as well, maybe.
I'm not a fan of strikers being captains.
Oh yeah, we've had this conversation.
I prefer it to be a central defender. People have their own views. You don't need to comment. Well, you can if you want, but it's
do not comment.
No, I prefer it being a central midfielder or a central defender being a captain. That's just me.
Makes sense.
Just my opinion.
So Matty James makes sense then, really, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think it's, for me, it was always going to be between keeping it as James McLean, Matty James and Connor Cody. I think they were the 3 that I thought maybe Connor's come in a little bit late before the start of the season to really bed in and get to know everybody and understand that the squad, whereas Matty's had that, and he does understand people on an individual level. I think the second shock, not that was a shock, but the big shot really was Danny Ward in goal, I think, for a lot of people.
Yep. I had Okonkwo in goal on my lineup, as I think a lot of people did.
Yeah.
But again, I think it was a good decision. I think, like you said, he had, Okonkwo had a few bad games in the
in pre-season.
So bringing Danny Ward on, like we've talked about it before, about bringing experienced players in to kind of sort of put a stick up the younger people, so Okonkwo's looking over his shoulder like, and it looks like Okonkwo needs to kind of learn, and we've said this before about his communication whilst he's on the pitch, and I said that I think, as much as I love Okonkwo and I think he's a great goalkeeper, but I think watching Danny Ward on Saturday, you could tell Danny Ward had a massive amount of experience, because I heard him on the pitch.
Yeah, we were quite far back in the away end, and you could hear him screaming regularly. And I think we've said it again and again and again. It is one of Arthur's major downfalls that he just doesn't communicate enough. And you don't hear him shouting, you don't hear him screaming, and maybe a little bit of time on the sidelines, watching someone like Danny Ward doing all of the things he should be doing. Look, who's the better shot stopper out of the two? It's Arthur, in my opinion, right? Better shot stopper, but
I thought Danny Ward was superb on Saturday.
He was, but I think Arthur is a better shot stopper than Danny Ward, in my opinion.
It's because he can cover pretty much all of the goal when he goes down.
But the thing is, the crazy statement here is that it's not just about shot stopping that makes a great goalkeeper. When you sort of go, well, that's pretty much what it is.
Job.
But it's all the other stuff that goes with it. It's the distribution. It is the communication that goes, the shot stopping. It's the position. All of that stuff goes into making a great goalkeeper. Arthur, for me, is the best shot stopper at the club, but he is very much lacking in them other areas. And perhaps, the better option maybe for some people would be Danny Ward. But I think Arthur might... It depends on Arthur's personality, I think. How is he going to take this? Is he going to go, right, okay, why has he chosen him over me? Let's watch. Let's see what he's doing. Let's see what he does that Phil thinks that I'm not. And he could really take this opportunity and learn a lot. And use not a failure as such, but use this moment of disappointment to actually propel himself forward. And I do think Arthur will come back and will be the number one. But it's a good opportunity for him to learn, I think, is.
I said about Danny Ward, I said to you, didn't I? I said, I like the way that... Because when Arthur's taking a shot...
doesn't shoot. He's a goalkeeper.
All right. What do you call it when he's kicking the ball out then?
Kicking the ball?
All right. When he kicks the ball out then. Okay. Whatever. Right. When he kicks the ball, when it's come out, it's gone out of play, whatever. I like the fact that, Okonkwo is very much in his own box. Occasionally he comes out.
Yeah, we have had calamities with him coming out as well, haven't we?
But I quite like like Danny Ward was not afraid to kind of come out as far as he was allowed to come out. Do you know what I mean?
It's experience, that is.
Yeah,
as well.
Exactly. And
it's understanding your limitations as well. Whereas we had that issue with when we played Blackburn in the FA Cup, and Arthur came out miles, and he sort of got lost in no man's land, and they scored.
Yeah,
it's an experience thing, and it's understanding your limitations of. Can I get to that? Can I not get to that? Don't get me wrong, experienced goalkeepers still make that mistake. It's not like, once you get to a certain age and you've played a certain amount of time, you don't make that mistake. Of course, that's a ridiculous statement. You do. But you have an understanding of of what you can go for and what you can't a little bit
It's like
more.
when you go out drinking, isn't it?
Yeah.
So
maybe,
when you're
yeah.
young, you're like, I can do whatever I want.
Yeah.
I can drink. But then as you get older, you're like, no, I know I can only have 2 pints and that's my lot.
2 pints, you're lightweight.
Well, yeah, I am a lightweight.
Yeah.
So I definitely think having Danny Ward there. I mean, obviously we had Mark Howard, didn't we? And he was the experienced goalkeeper in this situation.
And he still made mistakes.
He did.
Do you know what I mean?
He did. And God, did people let him know that he made a mistake.
Yeah.
So God help you, Danny Ward, when you make yeah. So I think, like you said, I think Okonkwo will come back and he will be number 1. But I think he does need. We keep on saying it, but I really think he needs to learn about his on-pitch communication when
massively.
Yeah. So, but we love Danny Ward and we love Okonkwo as well.
Yeah.
And Callum Burton, obviously, as well.
Yeah. Debut starts in the league for
so many.
Connor Cody, Kakache, Lewis O'Brien, Josh Windass, Kieffer Moore. They were all on from the start. Love to see Harry Ashfield on the bench.
That.
Oh, that was like, yes, come on,
He must be living the dream.
Yeah, full on. And I think I was worried that the team was going to get away from him. He looked great in all of them. What was it? What cup did we play? EFL Trophy games. He played pretty much all of them last season. And, he looked good in them games. And I was worried that the promotion meant that the team were moving away from him a little bit. Love that he was involved on Saturday. I say involved, he was there. And he was on the bench. And I loved seeing that. He didn't get any minutes. But I really do like that he was involved in that matchday squad. I think that's so important to get that experience, even though you're not out there and sort of performing in front of fans. It's really good for him to get that experience. I was really happy for him. Look, it was a great start. We looked cool, calm. It was a very measured performance. I had said to you that going into this, I just didn't want to look completely outclassed.
Like we were in a league game, a cup game playing a Premier League team, and we were in like National League or something.
Yeah, that's what you didn't want. You didn't want to look like you didn't belong.
Yeah.
You wanted to go there and you wanted to give a good account of yourself. And, throughout that whole first half, I felt like we did that. Connor Cody put one over the bar from
Love him.
Yeah. Well, yeah, but he put one over the bar from like a few yards out. Should have scored. Josh Windass hit the bar. And it just felt like we're in this.
Yeah.
We're in this. We're not just here to make up the numbers. We're actually here and we're performing. Kieffer Moore then went through, won a penalty. I've seen it back. I think it's a penalty, so I'm happy with that.
I watched it back,
yeah. Windass put it away. The cheer in the away end the noise from the away end all day was immense. All day.
Not according to Southampton fans, it's not.
God knows what they were listening to, but
There's like a sound barrier between the away fans and
the home
fans.
It must be. But yeah, it was so loud. Our son as well is obviously he's got a Wrexham season ticket. He comes to the games, but professes to be a Man City fan, and he's never been that interested in Wrexham. Although, like he likes watching football, so he does come to the games and all that sort of thing. And when Josh Windass scored on Saturday and the noise erupted, I know he got excited. And
shaking.
He was
visibly shaking.
He was physically shaking.
He was.
And he said, "Oh, I don't know what it is. I think I'm just hungry or something." He claimed, but it was the reason he was shaking was just pure adrenaline. Yeah. So I think we've got him. He was like, because we were, you're going to come to the home game on Saturday, and he was like, who's playing? And we told him, and he was like, I don't know, I might do, I might not. And then he was like, after the game on Saturday, he was like, I think I will come to the home game on Saturday. Hooked him. It's taken a few years.
We might even be able to get him on the blooming podcast.
Honestly, completely hooked him in, and I was like, I kept on looking at him, looking away, going, got you. Got you.
Because usually, so when we go to like away games and stuff like that, he's there because he likes to go and stay in a hotel.
Yeah.
So we take him with us. And usually he's like, now and again he's on his phone. Sometimes he'll stand up. So but on Saturday he was in it. He was stood up
completely.
He was absolutely boiling though, bless him.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think he really did enjoy it.
Did. Brunt put header over as well. I was really gutted about that.
Can you imagine
one.
if all those goals had gone in?
I know. Yeah, I do feel like we had another one in us in that first half.
Yeah.
I definitely feel that. Southampton's first real big chance came at the end of the half. They hit the post. And then Conor Cody blocked on the line as well. They would have been quite gutted about that. It came really close there. They did have a few other chances. I do remember they had a shot that was deflected and went out for a corner. I don't really know how close that was. But yeah, half-time come. What were you thinking at half-time? How did you feel? I know we were 1-0 up, so you're obviously happy. But how did you sort of feel at that point in that at half time?
I thought, oh hell, we've got another 45 minutes to keep hold of this, and and we have to continue to push for the next 45 minutes. Not doing the same old Wrexham thing where we've got a goal and we don't need to do anything now. So yeah, I thought it was a scary sort of situation. Glad that we'd scored. But it was just that worry that Southampton were going to get something.
I was expecting a complete barrage in the second half. I've got to be honest.
From Southampton?
Yeah, I felt like we'd played well and we were in the game and we created chances and maybe we should have put more than the one away. But I felt like we were in the game. But I just felt like things were going to turn in the second half and we were going to struggle a little bit more. I must have looked at the clock 100 times in that second half. We were still there and we were still, but Max got away with one early in the second half. I can't remember the Southampton player had a shot. Max, arm away from the body, hit him on the hand, completely deflected the ball in the opposite direction, went out for a corner. In my opinion, got to be honest, 100% a penalty, stonewall penalty for me. I'm baffled why the ref didn't give it. Obviously happy that he hadn't give it at the time. We couldn't see from where we were what everyone was shouting and pointing at their arms, so we assumed it was a handball in there. But when you're the attacking team, you shout for everything. So it was only since I've seen the replay after the game, I was like, wow, completely got away with one because that was definitely a penalty. There's no bones about it. 100% a penalty. So yeah, I felt like we got away with one there, but then it was about, for me, there was zero enjoyment for me in that second half. I don't think.
Oh, you couldn't tell.
It's constant clock watching.
Yeah.
It's like, right, let's get through this 5 minutes, get through that 5 minutes, get through another. But I must have looked at the clock every minute that went by. I looked at the clock at least twice within each minute bracket. I can say it didn't help that it was right in front of us as well. But we lost Kieffer Moore.
Absolutely gutted.
Yeah, 54 minutes. It was a bit of a 50-50. He went for a shot, so he had a big old swing at it. Defender had a big old swing at it, and they both kicked the ball at the same time, ultimately.
There's somebody, I think it might have been Fearless in Devotion, actually, or Racecross Ramble. I'm not sure. One of those two that basically took a screenshot of the 2 feet coming together, and Kieffer Moore's foot looked unnatural.
Yeah, my dad said that.
I'm not surprised he's got the injuries that he's got.
Yeah, so he's got ankle ligament damage. I know, it's the worst luck. The worst luck. First league game, and this happens after 54 minutes. Absolutely gutted for him and for us, really. But what is I had to Google really what ankle ligament damage, because it sounds horrendous, ankle ligament damage, but it can just be a bit of a posh way of saying a sprained ankle.
Ooh.
There is that is ankle ligament damage, a sprained ankle. So it's like a stretching of the ligaments. That's
Okay.
what a sprained ankle is. Okay.
Why can't I just say sprained ankle?
Because that might not be what it is. You
Okay.
see. So
Okay.
I'm going to read something out. So ankle ligament damage recovery times, as you can tell, I've been googling ankle ligament damage recovery times, vary significantly based on the severity. So mild, that's grade 1, can take 1 to 3 weeks. Moderate, which is grade 2, 3 to 6 weeks. Severe, which is grade 3, that's normally complete ligament tears, so that's 3 to 6 months. Not sure
He
what.
walked off the pitch, didn't he? So I feel like he hasn't got grade 3.
Hopefully, yeah. I mean,
Even 6 weeks
I'm
is
not
a
sure
long
how
time.
that really helps me to understand it, because all I've done there is realise that he will be out for between 1 week and 6 months. Which I'm not sure that's pinpointing anything, really, is it?
Which is pretty much quite a lot of the season.
Yes, so it's fingers crossed, and we will wait and see, and maybe even by the time this podcast comes out, we might have a little bit more information about his injury, and we'll just have to wait and see. Sam Smith came on. I think he's had some... Look, it didn't really stick in the same way as it did when Moore was on. You know, the ball was sticking up there. He was winning free kicks.
Yeah.
You know, it felt like we were very much defending from the front. It didn't really stick in the same way when Smith came on, unfortunately. But he hasn't come in for loads of criticism. I'm not saying that, but one or two have criticised a little bit, saying it just didn't happen in the same way but
There was definitely a dynamic switch when Kieffer Moore went off.
there was.
For me, anyway.
Yeah, there was. But it's very hard to comment on that because it might have gone that way anyway, even with Kieffer Moore on, because they upped the tempo and you know, they changed a little bit. But yeah, it didn't seem to stick. And it just felt like wave after wave of attack from Southampton. Lewis O'Brien did go clear. He got a little bit of a nudge in the back. No penalty, but it was a little bit of a chance there. Ryan Hardy had a chance. Probably the best chance that we had to make it 2-0. Hit it, sort of scuffed it really with his left foot.
Yeah.
Keeper made a great save though. And that kept it at 1-0, and that was on 86 minutes. And then we Dobbo gave away a free kick in the 90th minute. I'm not, just hands up really. It was a great free kick. It was a long way out. You can't, you know, Danny Ward set the wall up to cover his left-hand post. He stood on the right. That's what you do. That's natural. I did see a few people who were like, why is he standing so far over? That's just what you do. You set up your wall to cover one post and you cover the other, and you stand far enough over that you can see around the wall. He hit it with such whip and such speed that he just couldn't get there. And a lot of goalkeepers wouldn't have got there, to be perfectly honest. Some people might argue that it was far enough out that he could have stood in the middle. But that's not really what you do as a goalkeeper. But, you know, it is what it is. I turned to you, didn't I? When they scored, deflated, kicked off after that. And I turned to you and I said, we just need to hold on now. Because they've got one. They'll think they can win this now. And they just kept attacking. And they got it. Literally the 96th minute, they got it. They got their winner. And it was gutting. It really was gutting to lose it in that way. To concede 2 goals, 90th and 96th minute.
That's usually our thing.
Yeah, I know.
Isn't it? We usually get them in
them
the 90th and 96th minute or whatever.
I mean, I don't really create a beef with fans. But Southampton fans were very quiet. They were very quiet throughout the game. Not according to them. They claimed that they'd made loads of noise throughout the game.
Somebody put that both sets of fans were amazing.
Yeah, I thought they were really quiet.
They were. There was hardly anybody standing up. They were all sitting down.
All of the fans that were sitting next to the away fans, they were sat down all game.
Yeah.
I didn't see them singing once. I didn't see them doing anything until the 90th minute when they scored the equaliser, and they were all over us then. And it was just like, where have you been for 90 minutes? And I'm not being horrible at all, but to me, it felt like one of the quieter grounds that we'd been to.
We apparently, Wrexham are the worst away team to visit St Mary's ever. Yeah. Apparently, honestly, I don't. Our son kept saying, "Oh my God, it's so loud!
Yeah,
it's
he did.
Constantly loud." We didn't shut up from the moment even before the game had started.
Yeah.
We were singing and clapping and what have you. I don't know what you Southampton fans were listening to.
No, look, everyone. There are lots of nice comments on the stuff that we've done from Southampton fans. But I am going to go on and say something else in a minute. But lots of nice comments on there saying good luck for the season, and we do really appreciate all of that. But I don't think. All of the teams that we've played, some teams who really hate us as well, fan bases who really hate us, and we've been to away games and all that sort of stuff. I don't think that I have been abused by rival fans as much as we did in Southampton when we left the game. And everyone that we'd met prior to the game was really nice, right? But after the game, there was some real... I mean, bear in mind, we've got a young child with us. We were walking back to the car, and there was a guy driving past who put his window down and shouted at us. He shouted, "Have that, you," and then nearly ran into the car in front of him. And then we had lots of "stick that in your documentary while we were walking through.
You're going to do a lot of bleeping.
I'm going to have to, and we had lots of that, like walking through the park back and stuff. And from a fan base that was so nice prior, and it seems like an area. It's a lovely area, Southampton, by the way, and it seems like a really nice place.
Yeah,
I've never been abused by sets of fans when I've got a child with me as well. But I've never had that as much as we did in Southampton. So I'm not, I would rather be honest about it, because up until the point of the game, I thought it was an absolutely lovely fan base. And then just to get abused in the way that we did after the game, and I don't know if people felt like they were doing it in, a bit of a banter way, but I think if I was on my own, fine, I'll take it as that. But when I've got a child with me...
And me.
And Shan, maybe wind your neck in a little bit. And
there's no need, is there, really?
There's not when there's kids about.
No.
And I saw, other Southampton fans swearing at people with younger kids than we had. For me, look, if you got something to say, come and pull me to one side and we'll have a conversation. But don't do it in front of kids. It's just completely wrong. And it felt like a bit of a sour note to end it on, because Southampton was such a lovely place.
Everybody was lovely,
apart from the absolute that were shouting at us.
And we
after.
got a lot of comments saying that we got absolutely we absolutely battered you. It's like, you scored one more goal than us, and it was in the 90th and the 96th minute. Yes, you got the 3 points, but you didn't batter us. You didn't get like 6-7 goals.
No, look. I will admit. I'll be the first to admit that second half was a tough watch.
Yeah,
and I do feel like I understand maybe a little bit where we battered you in that second half comes from, because you did, to be fair. But on the balance of the game, we definitely had our fair share in that first half, and we didn't look out of place. I was a little bit worried by our sort of energy levels and fitness levels towards the end of the game, and we just dropped deeper and deeper and deeper, and we invited a decent enough team with Premier League experience onto us, and it was to our detriment in the end, But to say, oh, we absolutely battered you for 90 minutes, I just felt like that was so ridiculous, But it is what it is. I'm not trying to create some feud. I'm just being honest about the way that we were treated by certain Southampton fans after the game.
I bet he wasn't even at the game.
Maybe he wasn't. I don't know. It just didn't feel right. It was the first winning goal that we have conceded after the 90th minute since Torquay in April 2021.
That is ridiculous.
Over 5 years. That is since we conceded a winning goal after the 90th minute.
That is mad.
Look, we gave a good account of ourselves. I think all in all, I enjoyed our sort of night away, and it's always nice when the three of us go together, and we always have a laugh and we always have fun.
Sorry to interrupt. There was another comment as well. I mentioned in our live that this is the first time in over 40 years that we've been, and I said the championship, but obviously it was tier 2, wasn't it, back then?
Yeah, so it would have been either division. No, it would have been division 2 back when we were there.
Right,
yeah.
So that's what we said, and somebody commented saying, "What you on about? You've never been. The highest you've ever been is division 2." And
yeah,
it's like,
you've never been in the championship. It wasn't even called that when you were there, and it was like, oh, it's just semantics now. Just let that go and let's move on.
It's ridiculous. Sorry, I just had to get that on there.
Yeah, so we did give a good account of ourselves, I felt, especially in that first half. And it was against a team who held Man City to a draw 93 days ago in the league, and who only lost 2-1 to Arsenal at home 78 days ago. So Southampton's last 3 home games have been Man City, Arsenal and Wrexham. So just to try and put that into some sort of perspective, it's not. We will look back on this, and I think it will help us. This will. I think. Their last 3 home games: Man City, Arsenal, Wrexham. Our last 3 away games were Southampton, obviously, Lincoln, and Blackpool. No offence to Lincoln and Blackpool. But it's not Man City and Arsenal, is it?
No.
So we've come from very different places.
It's all relative, though, isn't it?
Over the last 3 months.
Yes.
We have both come from very different places. And I can forgive, to a degree, certain Southampton fans from getting a little bit overexcited, considering it is only the 3rd league game they've won in the last 14 months. And I am not saying that to have a pop. That is just a fact.
Yeah.
So, they've gone through the whole game, having only won 2 league games in 14 months. Having to sit and watch that would be difficult for anybody.
Especially with us scoring first as well.
And you're sitting there against a newly promoted side going, oh my God, is this just going to carry on now?
Yeah,
Are we not going to win? So I can forgive to a certain level the overexcitement at winning a game, especially in the way that they did, But look, 4 of our next 6 league games are at home.
That's cool, that.
Which is a big bonus,
yes,
I think.
Yes. Yeah. So obviously, the race course is known as the fortress, isn't it? We make it, with the home fans, Wrexham home fans, or just Wrexham fans, bring it every home game. It's whether it's belting sun, snowing, raining, whatever, it is a fortress. And do you think, obviously you just said, which is a big bonus to us, do you think the fact that we've got for the whole of the season, do you think these home games and us fans creating that atmosphere and everything is going to be the source of our success for this season?
I think 100%. I think, I said it last season, worry about your home games. Don't worry too much about your away games. Go with the mindset of we win every home game. You're not going to do that.
No.
Especially in this league, you are not going to do that.
It'd be bloody nice though, wouldn't it?
It would be lovely. But, you're verging on 70 points by doing that. So, there's no league in the world that you're not so far safe on 70 points. So that has always got to be the focus. If you can pick some up away from home, brilliant. But yeah, I think we need to try more so than ever to create that sort of fortress racecourse feel for this season. And we need teams to be worried about coming to us.
Yeah.
Because if we don't have that, then, we might end up in trouble. And we just need to try and, that is the source of success, I think, for us.
Talking of success, though, what do you think, or how do we as Wrexham fans, newly promoted into the Championship, how do we measure success for this season?
Well, that's quite interesting, really, because how do you measure success? Because we know how we measure success over the last 3 seasons.
Yeah.
You measure success by winning games and getting promoted. I don't think that's the case this season, is it? Because it would be lovely to think that we can win loads of games and get promoted into the Premier League. Amazing. But I'm not sure that's a measure of success this year, because in a weird sort of way, I sort of felt Saturday was a success.
Yeah.
Because of the performance that we put in, from what we learnt about what the lads would have learnt about themselves and about the team as a whole. I feel there's an element of success in that, but it feels wrong and dirty to try and claim that losing is a success, because that feels like something a loser would do.
I don't.
But to answer your question before you sort of go in, I think success for us this season is still being in the Championship at the start of next season. I would love to be mid-table comfortably, and I think we probably will be. But my first focus is having Championship football at the racecourse next season. That has got to be the first focus. We can't take this lightly. We've got to learn from our mistakes and learn by what we do wrong, because we will do lots wrong. But we've got to learn from it, and we've got to push on, and we've got to, let's get safe, and let's build on that, and let's see what we can do after that. For me, that's success for me this season. Yeah.
I can't remember what I was going to say. So.
I knew you wouldn't.
No, so some comments that we've had. David Middleton, we weren't expecting to win this one. Pushed a Prem team to the brink.
Yeah.
Gareth McKee, we did well. First time out as a team. They will grow and improve as a group.
I think that's a fair point as well, though. Some of these players barely know each other's names at the moment. They haven't spent a lot of time together.
No.
They may be... like groups of lads, any age,
Lads.
You like throwing a few nicknames in there and stuff like that, and sort of ribbing each other a little bit and all that sort of stuff. And you haven't had a lot of time for that, and there's not a lot of bonding as a team as sort of gone on in the so it will get there, and we just need a bit more time to gel. I think we had six debuts on Saturday. So we had more debuts than we didn't. I'm talking about the starting 11 now.
Yeah.
We had more debuts coming off the bench, but so it will take time. It will.
Del Boyd, it was a very good start, but the second half, I thought Southampton subs changed the game.
Agree.
Losing Kieffer was a big mistake.
Agree.
It was a big miss.
Yeah, agree. Nicole said, chins up, everyone. Not the result we wanted, but there's lots of room to grow with this squad. Get home safe and sound. Mrs. Foster said, I think we acquitted ourselves well. Disappointing to lose, but given that Southampton squad is worth 203 million and ours is worth 28, I think we did brilliantly.
I think that's a very good point. Jeff Thomas, you did good. I'm a Saints supporter, and of course I'm happy with the result. But on that performance, Wrexham will be okay, and they'll hold their own this season. Mid-table consolidation is what you guys can expect.
I hope so, Jeff.
100%.
Expat Alan, the two most...
I would have said Expalalan. Expalalan.
The two most important things in this league are taking your chances and seeing out games. Fix that and you will do well, don't fix it, and you will go down.
That comment was actually edited, so I'd love to know what the actual
what he
first
said
edit of that
originally.
comment.
Yeah.
Roy Swanger, second half just not good enough. Lost all our attacking threat, whether it was the Southampton adjustments or our retreating into our own box. We gave them too much time and space on the ball.
I think there's a bit of both there. I think there's a bit of maybe fitness. Shan threw me. I wasn't going to talk about this, but Shan on our live that we did.
I forget what we're doing.
We talked about this in private, and then Shan threw me under the bus on our live. So I might as well say it on here because it's out there in the world anyway. I said to Shan before the season started that I felt George Dobson would struggle this season. From what I saw on Saturday, he did very well in the first half. I felt like he did struggle a lot in the second half, and he was the one who gave the free kick away. Stupid challenge in a stupid area. I don't know. I can't see him being a regular starter throughout the season, if I am completely honest.
Not when George Thomason's fit, I don't think.
Maybe not. Look, I just talking about our lives, I just want to thank everyone who came on. We had such a great response to them.
A lot of Southampton fans.
Yeah, we had. So we did a pre-match a match preview, before the game. Lots of people watched that. Thank you very much for joining us and commenting. And we did obviously a full-time review. And again, thank you. So many people, thousands actually jumped on that and sort of commented. We struggled to get through all the comments in the end. So thank you. There won't be one for the West Brom game on Tuesday, but there will be one. The
whole game
on Tuesday.
West Brom's on Saturday.
Yeah, there will be one for the West Brom game, so join us from about 11 o'clock on Saturday for our pre-game, and obviously straight after the final whistle at the end of the game. So we got 2 games to talk about this week.
We've got 1 league game and 1 cup game.
Yeah, so do you want to take the cup one or the league one?
I'll take the cup one.
We've
got Hull City in the Carabao Cup, which is the first round of the EFL Cup. Carabao Cup, EFL Cup, whatever you call it.
Whatever you want to call it.
It's on Tuesday the 12th of August and kickoff is at 7:45 UK time. Parky used this competition in the last 2 seasons to run out the second team. I was actually whilst we were talking about Southampton and all that kind of stuff, I was actually thinking, obviously we're going to be playing Hull in the league.
Yes.
So, wouldn't it be quite beneficial if we played a first team? Just that's being said, obviously Hull will need to play their first team for us to kind of get a gauge of how they are on the pitch, how we play and all that kind of stuff. Don't know if that's going to happen.
Or would it be more beneficial for your first team to be well rested after a long trip to Southampton and a very difficult game where you're all knackered, to have a week of rest, recuperation and training going into another league game, as opposed to throwing them out in a cup competition that nobody cares about?
Good point. So, so I don't think that's going to change this year. I think that Parky is going to put out a second team. And obviously Harry Ashfield being one of the favourites to, play in these cup games.
Yeah, I think so. And I hope that continues, yeah.
And I wonder if Okonkwo will be
interesting. I think we'll get a good idea of who's going to play on Saturday by who plays on Tuesday.
So we were knocked out in the first round of the EFL Cup last season by Sheffield United. We did try. We did pretty well, I think, but end of.
Who cares?
Yeah, who cares? And the year before that, it was by Bradford City in the second round. Which, so hopefully, maybe, this year will be...
Well, no, because it's going down, isn't it? 2 years ago, we went out in the second round. Last year, we went out in the first round. If that trend continued, we'd be knocked out before we even played this time.
Okay, so there are tickets still available. I don't think there's any There's very few in the Macron stand because I had a look.
There is hardly any. There's hardly any. There is the odd few dotted around, but there's hardly any.
So if you're struggling to get to home games, then go to the Carabao Cup. Take advantage of these.
Well, there might not
games.
Even be any tickets left.
There might not be.
No,
but yeah. So last time we played Hull City was we had a 2-1 defeat in League One in 2005. They have just signed Ollie McBurney. I love that name. Ollie McBurney.
Well, he's the one who scored when we played Sheffield United. He scored the opening goal for Sheffield United in that 3-3 draw at the racecourse. So he was a Sheffield United player. He went out to Spain and now he's back and he's playing for Hull.
Yeah, so predictions, Ryan.
I'm going to go for
10-0 because you don't care.
I don't care. I'm not going to lie. Cup competitions are
apart from the FA Cup.
The FA Cup, yeah, definitely.
That's very important.
But this, I genuinely don't care. So I will go for 3-1 Wrexham.
Okay. Do you know what? Just for some S and giggles, I'm going to go 4-1.
Oh, well, loads different to mine then. You look like you're going to go, I'm going to go crazy. I'm just going to add 1 goal onto your prediction. Well done, Sean. Look, West Brom. It's back to league action on Saturday, the 16th of August. First league game at the racecourse, obviously, this season. 12:30 kickoff again. It's actually, if you're in the UK, it's actually on ITV Sport, which is mad.
Considering how much Sky's paid for all these Championship Premier League games.
Yeah, it's on ITV. They were founded in 1878. They're only 67 miles away, just outside Birmingham. A lot of people seem to think West Brom is in Birmingham. It is not. I never say that to them. They are outside Birmingham. Oh. They finished 9th in the Championship last season on 64 points. They've been in... So the Premier League was launched in 93. Since 93, they've been in the Championship or the Premier...
so sure about
No, I didn't. They've been in the Championship or the Premier League every year since 1993. So 19 seasons in the Championship and 13 in the Premier League.
9th, that's pretty impressive, isn't it?
Yeah, this will be our first ever league game against them. Nickname is the Baggies, and they play in navy and white stripes.
Why are they called the Baggies, Ryan?
We've done this before when we were doing our in the off season, so we went through every team, and I have done this before, but I will do it again for you if you want.
I've slept since then.
Yes, so they're called the Baggies. That as with most nicknames, people are never really sure where they come from, but Baggies seems to refer to, it's very working class area, and working class people used to wear quite baggy clothes when they were working in the industry, and the nickname seems to have stuck because it's a very working class area, and they used to go to the games in their baggy clothes straight from work, and so the name sort of stuck, I think. They're currently 9th favourites to win the league. We play them away on the 3rd of April. So what is your prediction?
Considering they finished 9th in the season last season, they seem like a good, strong team. So I'm going to go, I went 0-0 for Southampton, but I think that's a bit boring. So I'm going to go 1-1.
1-1. Okay.
I hope it's completely different and it's not that. But...
I'm going to go for 1-0 Wrexham.
Yeah?
You keep pumping them draws. I'm going to go for Wrexham wins. But one of us is going to be right at some point.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The prediction table that we've got isn't looking great so far. I know it's only been one game.
Yeah, but, chill out. I got the score right. I just got it the wrong way around.
Yeah, you did.
Hey, we're knocking on the door. Look, if you do want to support the show, you can do so by buying us a coffee. The best way, no, not the best way, the only way to do that is you visit buymeacoffee.com/me the wife. If you do want to get in touch with us, you can do it in numerous ways. You can comment on this video if you're watching on YouTube. You can click contact the show at the bottom of the description if you are listening as a podcast. You've got all the social media as well. You've got Blue Sky X, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Threads, or you can email us at methewife and wrexhamafc@gmail.com.
Which Ryan will cleverly put along as he's saying it.
I will do. Look, shout out for Dragon Chat as well. It's a mental health peer support group. They run 2 weekly Zoom calls. One is on a Monday at 8 p.m. and that is for women. The other is on Thursday at 7 p.m. That is for men. If you want to get on them calls, go to the Wrexham AFC website. Go to the communities tab, scroll to health, and you'll find Dragon Chat in there. Alternatively, in the description of this video, you'll find details of how to get on them calls. They also meet up in person in the Dragon Chat room at the Miners Project at 1 p.m. Before every Saturday home game and 6:15 for midweek games. Obviously, that'll be a little bit earlier on Saturday, so the best thing to do is obviously just check social media and all that sort of stuff, see when they're meeting, but I'm guessing it would be from 11 o'clock on Saturday, with it being an early kickoff. Quiz time.
I'm going to just put a little, I think you call
caveat.
it caveat. Yeah, I'm absolutely shattered. I've hardly slept in the last 3 days.
Shut up. Let's get on with it.
So,
you've been fine chatting for the last hour and 10 minutes. So yeah, right. Some of these questions.
Is this true or false again?
No. Some of these questions do not have options.
Oh,
because I feel like you should know the answer.
Shoulda, woulda, coulda.
Yeah, we will see. Question 1. Our first game back in the second tier for 43 years was at St Mary's Stadium. Which other championship team has a Saint in their stadium name?
St Andrews. Birmingham, sorry.
It is Birmingham. Well done. That's why there's no options, because you know the answers. Okay, well done. Question 2. Southampton's kit on Saturday had red and white stripes.
Yep.
How many other teams that we face this season in the Championship will also have a red and white striped home shirt? Is it 1, 2, 3 or 4?
2.
Okay, there's no points available. You are correct. Can you name them?
Charlton.
That's incorrect straight away.
They play red and white.
They play in red.
I'm sure they've got red and white stripes.
No.
Sheffield United.
Correct.
Southampton.
No, apart from Southampton. You
You
can say you don't know. There's no points for it.
Yeah, I don't know.
Stoke.
Oh, yeah.
Question 3. Which National League club that we played in December 2022 is located just 4.5 miles from Southampton?
Eastleigh.
It is Eastleigh. Well done, Sean. Question 4. How many miles did we travel to get to Southampton and back on the weekend?
4.
Was it 402, 420, 451 or 476?
451.
That is incorrect. It was 420.
But it's 220 miles. And there and back is 440.
Did we measure all these grounds from our house, did we?
Oh, okay.
And did we go the way that we were supposed to go?
No.
No, we didn't. Question 5. It's the only one you got wrong, isn't it?
Yeah.
Question 5. Southampton have an impressive back catalogue of players. Which of the following did not play for Southampton? Gareth Bale, Alan Shearer, Jack Grealish, or Virgil van Dijk?
Definitely know Gareth Bale did.
So it's between Alan Shearer, Jack Grealish, or Virgil van Dijk. And you know all them three of them, don't you? Yeah.
I'm going to say Jack Grealish.
Sure?
Yes.
Correct. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is correct. So yeah, Gareth Bale played, Alan Shearer played, Virgil van Dijk all played for Southampton, plus many others as well. They've had over the years a very good academy that's brought players through. They've been
4 out of 5.
4 out of 5. It's a good week for you.
That's a good week, considering I'm absolutely shattered.
You know what? Yeah, I know. All the excuses came out beforehand, and
Yeah,
you didn't
can you
need them.
imagine what I'd be like on a full night's sleep?
We may never know.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Look, thank you very much for joining us. As I said earlier, thank you very much for joining us on our lives this week. We loved having so many people on. It was really nice, wasn't it?
It was nice, yeah.
It was nice. The usual lunatics on there who sort of like commenting really random stuff, but yeah, you know, thank you.
We'd also like to thank all the Southampton fans that
were nice.
That were nice and sent us lovely comments, and
yes.
Yep, you are a credit to your team.
Yeah. Not so much to all the
Yeah.
So there we go.
Yeah.
Look, enjoy your week. And we'll see you again next week. Bye-bye.
Bye.